Dun-dun-dun. All right, here we go. Check 1 2. We are rolling, baby. Love it. All right. So let's see. It is 9:57 a.m. We are looking at Nasdaq right now. We are playing around on a Take Profit Trader account. My phone is buzzing. That's all right. So let's see. What are we going to talk about today? Right now, there is no trade. I have no trade here. And that sucks because I like to trade. It's fun to trade. However, it's more fun to trade and win than it is to trade and lose. And so I am going to wait until I feel like my odds of success are high. My setup, I don't say my A plus setup, I don't say, my B setup, my primary setup. My setup is a really, really quick scalp um, that I do. It fits my personality. It's fairly low stress for me. I like it when I am disciplined, which is not all the time. When I'm disciplined, uh, it's a really high win rate. My P&L just looks like this. But then what happens is I think we all do this, right? All of us who have systems that actually have a positive expected value, we tend to go like this right up until something rattles us, and then right. And I'm no different. I have the same. I have the same issue. In fact, one of the reasons that I'm trying to make this community here is, or I'm trying to stream here, is because I want a way to go back and watch myself. I want a way to hold myself accountable. And honestly, what I'd like to do is I'd like to create a community that is the community that I need and that I have needed for a while. And that's one that's based on accountability and mindset and patience and discipline. And instead of creating a system for what we do, how we manage our trades, I want to create a system for how we're going to manage our emotions, because that's the thing that blows a lot of people up. It's not the only thing, but it's a huge thing. I mean, go on Reddit and take a look. Everybody is saying, why can't I seem to follow my rules? I'll do great for 5 or 6 days in a row and then I'll blow everything in one day. We've all been there, man. We've all been there. So one of the things that I think we have to do is we have to learn to get comfortable with discomfort, right? I mean, that's Tom Hogard talks about it a lot in Best Trader Wins. Um, I just Your job as a trader is to feel discomfort. And the more you can feel discomfort and handle it without falling apart, the more the market's going to pay you, right? And a lot of times, I think we tend to think that of that discomfort as just being like, FOMO, or just getting in a trade and wanting to cut our winners short because, that's kind of Tom Hogarth's big thing, right? Is people get in trades, the trade starts going their way, and they get scared that it's going to reverse on them, and so they cut their winners short. And then they do the opposite with losers. They'll hold on to losers forever, hoping and praying that everything will turn out okay. And I think he's totally right. But another kind of discomfort that I think really kills a lot of people is boredom, or not even boredom. Sometimes it's just the addiction to the dopamine hit of clicking a button, right? Risk taking behavior. You get a lot of dopamine from risk taking behavior, and trading is nothing if not risky. So we create these pathways in our brain. The actual neuroscience of it all is we create pathways that tell us clicking this button and taking this risk is a rewarding thing to do, and we should continue to do it. Man, that's a hard pathway to break. headed back down. So just gonna kind of sit here and watch it. All right, what do we have? Headed back down toward VWAP. Now, my setup that I like, I don't mind telling you, is I like when price gets extended well up above or well below VWAP. I like when it has a big move. And then what I like to do is, like, if we're going up, let's say we have a nice big push up and price is coming into a key level, like, round numbers tend to be a nice key, like psychological level. Sometimes you'll get a level where you can just see like there's been a lot of volume, happening at this price. Like, look down here, the bottom of this first wick of the day. This is the first candle of the day. We had a lot of volume happening right here because we were kind of compressing in this area. As we're coming into a key level that I've already identified, um, I will go the opposite direction. I will anticipate a little bounce of a few points, and I'll grab it. So, like right now, VWAP could be a level that I might consider a key level. The main thing is I don't like trading around VWAP because I feel like I don't have any insight into whether or not price is going to go up or down. Excuse me. I like trading imbalanced markets, and when we're sitting at VWAP, we are balanced, at least for the day. Now, if I go to higher time frames, let's check out the 1 day. This is crazy, right? I mean, you can't even really pick a level here just because I guess a level would be 27,500 or so. We had a little compression zone right up in there. Not much though. Not much at all. So let's see. Let's move to a slightly lower time frame. Let's do 1 hours. And let me turn my VWAP off. All right, what do we have here? We're looking at the 1 hour chart here. So we've got a nice little kind of compression area right in here. We're looking at 27 to 27,570. That's a nice, and then we get a little bounce off of that. So if we go like, I may draw a line here. Where are my drawing tools? Here we go. Let's get horizontal line. We'll just kind of put one right here-ish. Kind of put another right around here. Nope, nope, nope. Get my drawing tools again. Now, drawing tools, horizontal line. Let's take a look right around here. All right, there we go. Now, let's get a little closer. Let's zoom in. Let's go 30 minutes here because on the 30, all right, here we're coming back down here and we are looking toward, let me go back really quickly to my 5 minute, and let me go ahead and turn on my VWAP. All right, cool. All right, so we're under VWAP. So here we go. Key level is going to be the low of the day. So the low of the day right now is 28,336, at least like New York hours. So as we get to 28,336, I think it's fair to anticipate a small bounce. So I'll take it if we get there. Look at that. You go to get some coffee, and the Bulls are right back. All right. Now, look. That frustrates me, right? Because I had identified a trade I wanted, and now it's farther away. It's moving away from me. And that makes me want to jump in for some reason, right? It's hard to accept that it looked like my trade was about to set up, that I might get a shot at it, and now that's gone. And there's a part of me that immediately thinks, well, what if it's reasonable to assume that we're probably going to get back up to here? We should just jump in and on along. But that's not what I do. That's not my trade, right? And then there's a part of me that goes, well, it could be our trade, but it shouldn't be my trade because I don't trade well that way. It's not how I trade. Sure, I'll take some wins. I'll also take some L's. I'll take bigger losses than I will wins. So what I have to do is I have to resist this urge. How am I going to do that? How am I going to resist it? All right, I'm going to take this energy that I have where I'm like, I should do a thing, right? This desire to act. And I'm going to identify another trade, right? I'm going to go back and check my key levels. I'm going to find something productive in trading to do. I'm going to do a trading activity that's just not trading, right? Trading is the probably the trading activity you should do the least. All right, so let's move back to our 30-minute time frame here. Let's turn our VWAP bands back off. And let's see here. I like this little line here, so I'm gonna maybe draw it. It's not a hard line, but it's a little bit of it's a zone, right? We've been sort of bouncing around in here for a while. So I'll call this a key level. And look here, this is probably maybe a key level as well. If we look at like, let's see down here, what are we, 325? We're getting close. It's about the 300 area, right? We're kind of bouncing around between 3 and 400 here. Now, let's say we come back up to high of the day. I don't need to mark anything for high of the day because I already have that right up here. If I scroll way up here, 634. Boom, there it is. Now, coming into 634, I think it's reasonable to expect that we, at the high of the day, that with the first time we tap it, we'll come back down a few points. And by a few points, I mean, look, what, 5, 10 points maybe? It could be significantly more than that. But I think it's reasonable to think that 5 to 10 points is likely. So what's that on NASDAQ with one contract? It's $200. It's not a ton, right? It's not going to make anybody rich. It's also not going to break me. So what am I waiting on? Am I waiting on a big rip? Let's move inside of the 30 minutes. Let's go check out the 15. This little zone right here, just a little over 500. That's also given us a few bounces, a few nice consistent bounces. Reasonable to assume? Maybe. I mean, right now we're sitting well within a shot. Let's see here. I'm gonna go check my Bookmap stream here. Look, just a lot of noise. No clear. The one thing we have here is at 28,500. Let me mute this here. We don't need you. Right here at 28,500, we've got a decent size order block, but it's not that big. So is that liquidity that's enough to attract price? Maybe. Is it enough sell orders sitting there that I'm super confident we're going to get a 10-point pullback on it? No, especially because we've been attacking that level a couple of times, even just in the last hour. We've kind of hit that. So here, let me go to the 5-minute now and take a look at, look at how many times we've hit right around 500 here. Top wick, down, and back up. I think well, I don't know what I think. I think we may head back to it. I think we may head away from it. I don't know what it's going to do. But the fact that I don't know what it's going to do is enough for me to know that I shouldn't get in it, right? Sorry, I got a little springtime sniffles here. Here we go. See what the volume's done here, right? This candle, we've got significantly larger candle with a little bit higher volume. There's no real clear signal one way or another. This is indecisive. This is an indecisive And at the moment, I would even say fairly balanced market, which is crazy to say when you're on, I don't know, what day like 40 of straight up action. It's tempting here when I look at this to go, well, look, it's coming back down. I'm fairly certain it's coming back down. I could jump in. That's not what I do. That's not my trade. So I have to stay out. Ask yourself this: how often do you find yourself in a trade that you shouldn't be in? If you're struggling with consistency and profitability, how often do you find yourself in a trade you shouldn't be in? That's not a losing trade, right? Trades lose. A good trade can be a loser, and a bad trade can be a winner. There are a lot of trades you shouldn't be in that probably pay you, and that's probably one of the worst things that could happen for you. It's like going to Las Vegas and putting all your money on black and winning the first time. You you get the idea that it can happen again, right? It can, but you probably shouldn't. In the end, you're going to lose. Getting into trades you shouldn't be in the end, you're going to lose. Nice. We got a significant move down here. Now, look. Hey, I've identified an area where I'm willing to take a little bounce here. Where's it going to be? There's a lot of volume there at 28,350. A lot of volume happened. And that's a kind of a nice round psychological number as well. Let's check Bookmap here. 28,400, we've got some orders sitting there. We've got some buy orders sitting there and waiting. So let's see where 28,400 is. Almost to where we were. And that's kind of like a little pivot area. However, I'm not so confident considering that we've come down and attacked that close to that a couple of times here. I'm not super confident that that area is going to hold. Now, this is a pretty big move, but we have 10 seconds left. So here's what I don't like to do. I don't like getting in a trade right at the end of a 5-minute candle. I tend to see a big move in the first 30 seconds to a minute after a candle change, especially if if the previous candle was large. That's where we'll see a lot of like retracement back up. They want to retrace a good percentage of the previous candle. Or sometimes we get a really sharp, really fast continuation. So I tend to want to stay out because I don't know how the hedge funds work at all, right? I don't know how the algorithms work. I know a lot of people talk about it like they do know. I don't know. I don't think most of these other guys know. Um, but it seems to me that a lot of times on a new candle, like especially 5-minute, you tend to get a pretty swift move. Nobody's out there, huh? That's all right. One day. No. Moderate live chat. I don't want that in here. All right. Maybe one day there'll be someone in here. They'll ask me a question. Making sure that's the microphone I'm using. It is. All right. Bounce it all around. I wonder if you guys can hear my wife. She just came back from walking the dog in the rain, and she's telling him to be calm. She's going, "No, you're supposed to be calm." I'm not sure what gets picked up here and what doesn't. I can hear it. I got a microphone. I assume the microphone can hear it. All right. back up. We're getting nothing. We got no clear signals here. No buy, no sell. Just watch. So what I do when this is happening is because my tendency is to want to overtrade. I bet you have a similar tendency. My tendency is to want to overtrade. So to keep myself from overtrading, I have to literally keep myself from overtrading, right? I have to keep myself from overfitting my trade, my style, my signal. Look, I could go like, oh yeah, here we're coming up to the top of the candle. I think it's probably going to go back down a couple of points, and maybe it will. But so you get this antsiness, this need to act. So I'm gonna rather than try to fight that, I'm going to satisfy it. I'm just not going to satisfy it with trading. Okay. Do 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 do. Interesting. So, camera wise, I tend to. My screen is over here. I have a laptop right here, camera. I have a big screen that I'm trading off of here. But then I have this down in this corner. I'm gonna move it. Let's switch these around. Ba-dum-bum. Now it kind of blocks that a little bit. But I think, and then let's do that. There we go. All right, I just moved, so I still have like boxes and crap around behind me, but all right, this may be a little better. Not my best angle, is it? We'll figure all that out. Where are we going? We're going up? Maybe. All right, let me busy myself because I want to jump in here. So I'm going to do something. I'm going to just mute myself for a minute, take care of some other business, but we'll leave this rolling. moving up again, huh? All right. All right. Here we come. Right up into this 500 level that has been a resistance level for us all morning. Now, let's take a look here. We've got a significant amount of sell orders sitting here at 500, starting around 496 or so. So I think what I may do here is run a quick sell. No, I don't like it. It's not strong enough. I don't think it's strong enough. I don't think this is my setup. I think this is me wanting it to be my setup, and it's not. I want it to be my setup. Yeah, look, we're slowly chipping away at that. I think we're going to break through 500 here. How confident am I that we're going to break through 500 here? Very. Am I going to take that trade? No. Am I tempted to take that trade? Sure. I mean, look here. Look, let's see. The low of this previous candle was 418. This is an 80-point candle. ATR is at 50, so this was more than ATR. I think it's reasonable to expect that we may get a little retracement back down to around here, 470 or so, before we take back off. It's reasonable. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. But look, like, I'm not in the business. That's maybe not entirely true. It kind of bothers me sometimes when I hear people say, like, I'm not in the business of predicting what the market's going to do. Yeah, you kind of are. every every trade is a prediction about what the market's going to do. You guys ever? There's a good book called Thinking in Bets by this woman Annie Duke. She used to be a professional poker player, and she had a degree in statistics, maybe math. I'm not sure. Something that kind of helped her when she, transferred those skills over to poker. Um, and one of the things she talks about is, resulting, which is what it's when you judge the quality of a decision based off of the outcome, as opposed to judging the quality of a decision based off of the information that you had at the time the decision was made, right? If we use poker, if you have a if you know poker odds and you're playing and you have 90% chance of winning a hand, you should take that bet. Now, 10% of the time, you're going to lose that hand. That doesn't mean that the bet was a bad bet. It doesn't mean you shouldn't have done it. It's just that sometimes variance, luck plays a role, right? And I think the same thing happens in trading. So, one of the things that she talks about is trying to get rid of this like right and wrong binary mindset about decision making, and to try to think about it like, how confident am I in this decision? And, so if you say, like, well, I'm 75% confident, then in the event that you were incorrect, it's a little easier to handle and a little easier to analyze because you go like, well, look, I was 25% sure that it was gonna that it was gonna go wrong, right? I happened to witness that 25%. So here, how confident am I that it's gonna retrace 10 points? Not very. How confident am I that it's gonna break 500 significantly? Probably. I feel pretty confident about it. In fact, there we go. Let's check book map here. See what we got. 515, right around there. We've got a decent number of sell orders here, but not so much that I think it's going to be able to like stop this train. I think we're headed up, but that's cool. I don't mind heading up. I may look for something around the 600 mark. I know we went to 634, but I like that nice round number. Let's see what happens as we get to 600. Till then, just sit and wait. All right, so here we go. This is an example of a time when I'm looking, I'm feeling like I've been sitting here for an hour and 15 minutes. I haven't had an opportunity for a trade. I really want an opportunity for a trade. I'm feeling antsy about it. So, what am I going to do? Let's do some trading actions that are not trading. Let's zoom out a little. Let's look at the 15-minute. How are we doing? All right. So it looks like on the 15-minute, we've broken out of that kind of like opening range a little bit. That's nice. In fact, definitely out of the opening range. I don't play the opening range breakout strategy at all. But if I did, I'd probably be like, yay, there we go. All right. We've done our levels. Let's check Bookmap. No real liquidity that's just calling to us. So here we go. Now we're headed back up. I mean, if I was a trend trader, this would be a day where I'd have wanted to have bought by now. Because, I mean, look at this trend. This is crazy. If I go to the 1 hour. Yeah, I mean, are you kidding me? Jesus Christ. And this is just a little. I mean, that's wild. All right, back to the 5. What do we have? What do we have? What do we have? Let's see what it looks like when we go Heikinashi. Let's just check and see. I always like to look at Heikinashi and see. It's such an interesting way of reading price action. I don't trade off of it very often. If I was a trend follower, I probably would. Back to my candlesticks. All right, where do we go here? What was our high? High was 540. And since this green, this is basically a 120 point move, right? Because what was the low here? 18? Yeah, 418. So 100 point move on NASDAQ is clearly very possible. It's not ridiculous at all. A lot of times I think people will start to think, oh, well, it has to come back down a little bit. Maybe not, especially lately. unmuting to come back to this. All right. Sorry, I was doing something else here, trying to keep myself busy and occupied. Just looked over, and it looks like we may be in for a little bit of drawdown. But again, maybe, maybe not. The bull's running out of steam. Let's check Bookmap. Yeah, looks like they may be running out of steam a little bit here. Look, we've got significant numbers of sell orders coming in. Our CVD is looking a little bit red. Uh, we've got a bunch of buy orders sitting at 500. We don't have a ton of buy orders. We got a few coming in. This is indecisive. And because it's indecisive, I could easily make an argument for price going up, down, or staying the same. And because of that, I can't look at any trade that I could consider making and say I have confidence of 70% or more. It's really, I think, probably about what I want. I want about a 70% confidence level. Sneeze. Nothing. All right. I'm going to mute and I'm going to go back to what I'm doing. All right, coming back here. Looks like we're, maybe running out of steam a little bit. We're getting a little toppy. We're getting a little toppy. But if we look at the volume, which I like looking at volume, I think volume's super helpful. If we look at the volume here on this red candle, not much. So that's, look, like that's not a bearish candle. That's just an indecision candle. We don't know if we're going up or down. And it looks like so far what we have here is the same thing on this candle. We don't know if we're going up and down. I think it's likely that we compress here for a couple of minutes. Maybe we go up, maybe we go down. I don't know. But I have a plan in place for each. Makes me tired. Just sitting here waiting. It's the worst, man. Now, what I could do is I could just turn this off and I could say I'll come back tomorrow, which is probably the right thing to do because we're reaching that time of the day where volume starts to dry up, volatility dries up. I'm not expecting a ton to happen until later. However, and I recommend everybody do this, if you have a problem with over trading, if you have a problem with emotional trading, boredom trading especially, practice being bored a little bit. Sit on your hands. Exercise the muscle of waiting. Get used to feeling like you want to do something and train yourself to do something else. Right? Here, like, it seems obvious that it's about to go up here to me, right? And there's a part of me that says, oh, you should just jump in real quick. Just jump in, it's going to go up. Maybe, maybe not. So, what am I going to do? It's not my trade. I want to get in, but I'm not going to. So, I'm just going to take a minute. I'm going to exercise this. I'm going to just breathe a little. Chill out. Probably going to give this another hour. That is the cool thing about trading, right? Is this last hour and a half has been boring as hell. But I can quit anytime I want. I can walk away. I can go enjoy my day. I just happen to have a different goal today, which is just to get a little workout in, a little discipline workout. All right, I'm going to go back to what I was doing and let this just keep bouncing around. Looks like we're rounding over. Man, it seems obvious we're rounding over, doesn't it? Not doing it. Not shorting. It's not my trade. It's not what I've been waiting on. Man, it seems so obvious. Look, you just hop in and let this thing pull on down to 500. But look, what do you know? The obvious trade quickly turns around and reverses. Now I bet a whole bunch of shorts just jumped out. They went, oh shit. And they just jumped out. Now it's going to go back down. Right? I've been doing this for 10 years. 2016 is when I first started learning about markets and trading. And one thing I've seen over and over again is that the obvious trade almost always seems to get crushed. I really do believe in the Max Payne theory of the markets. It says whatever is going to cause the most people to lose the most money is what will happen. So anytime I see something that's an obvious short, I'm always skeptical. Maybe this is it. Maybe we get a little move here. All right, we got 3 minutes until the next candle. If we could push up in the next 3 minutes or so to 600, that might be a quick little scalp I'd be interested in. But I want it to happen quickly. Kind of the way it's going. ATR is 40, so right now our low is 32. So if we go to 72, we've met ATR. So if we push another 30 points to about 602, then we're well over ATR, which makes me even more confident that we'll get a decent little pullback. Let's keep watching volume here. Check Bookmap. All right. Oh, right here at 502, we have a significant amount of liquidity. It seems like we're gonna head up there and tap that and see if buyers have enough appetite. That's my guess, and that's all it is. It's a guess. So I'm not trading off of it purely because it's not the kind of trade that I manage well emotionally. All right, here we go. ATR just about met here. Oh, it has been. All right. ATR is 41. This candle so far is 42 points. Still going. Nice. Let's go. We've got less than a minute here. We're not going to get it. A cool technique I learned is called box breathing. All right, here we go. New candle. Let's see where we go. I think we're headed to 600. Cool technique I learned is called box breathing. It's inhale for 4 seconds, hold it for 4 seconds, exhale for 4 seconds, hold it for 4 seconds, repeat. Um, it's really good for getting control of your heart rate, calming everything down when you start feeling antsy, when your heart starts racing, when you start feeling like, oh, I'm going to jump in, I'm going to do this thing. Or if you're feeling a lot of fear, uh, some breathing exercises are a really nice way to sort of get um, your thinking brain back online. So, when I'm sure over the next however long, I'm going to wind up talking quite a bit about some of the neuroscience of this. My wife is a neuroscientist, and so I get to fact check a lot of things that I read uh, against the actual science. Um, there's actually there's a lot to it. So, um, but let's just say we need to get our parasympathetic nervous system back online. Right now, I'm feeling a little antsy. I'm kind of wanting to jump in because it feels like I don't think we're going to keep going up a little bit. I think we're going to pull back a little. I think I could probably grab a few points, but I'm not going to because it's not my trade. So, there. Did that 3 times. Nothing else. It gave me something to do for a little while. I no longer feel the urge to jump in that trade. Sometimes, too, this is the thing I find those impulse trades, man, if you can just like short circuit that impulse, that stupid impulse to jump in, if you can delay that by 15 seconds, you can save yourself a whole bunch of money. All right. Gonna head back to what I was doing here for a few minutes, just waiting. Ooh, now check this out. Significant liquidity right here, right where we are. I think a little retracement is happening. Now, see, I was a little late on that. It's because I didn't have a plan for that. But when I see that kind of sell wall, I feel like it's pretty reasonable to assume that we're not going to take that without dropping a few points. Right now, we're attacking that sell wall. I think we're going to break through, and then look at 600. There's just nothing there. I think this is the decision point here. This is the inflection point. And man, I want to jump in, but I'm not going to because I didn't have a plan for this to begin with. Man, that's a real sell wall, dude. It's not diminishing either. Still there. Still there. We're attacking it. Can we eat it? Is the question. Are we going to eat it? We're going to get a big old bubble. Ooh. Look, it wants to go through here so badly. Buyers are trying so hard. Are there enough sellers? So far, there really are. Who's getting rid up here? All right, I'm gonna do a quick sell here. If we come up to 84, I'm gonna put my sell order right there. Nope. New candle. Sitting out. Look at that. They ate it all. That liquidity's gone. Every one of those sell orders just hit. And now I think we're free to drop down because look, there's just no liquidity up higher. No real liquidity. There's also nothing standing in the way of going up though. So all right, we're building some more sell orders up top here. Ooh. Getting smacked around a little up here. Big old volume spike that kind of happened right here. A lot of transactions have happened right at this price point, and that's pretty recent. If I were able to go back in time a couple minutes, I think that big bump there didn't quite exist the way that it does now. And this is it. Are we headed down now? I'm tempted to want to jump in and go, look, it's going to retrace to at least 555. Do I know that? No, I do not. Does it seem obvious? Yes, it does. What do I know about the obvious trade? It tends to be opposite. So essentially, I just have no confidence in it. It's a coin toss for me. I can make the argument for price move in either direction right now. And each argument would be just as strong as the next. Oh, how big is the delay here? Let's find out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Oh, shit. big delay. All right, where'd we go? Oh, low of 548. So back down to this 50 level. And then here we go. We're bouncing back up. Let's check book map. Book. Can't talk. Book map. There's just not much in any direction except down to 527. Now look, if we're just using support and resistance here, we could say like, look, this was resistance, this like 550 area. We bumped up into it, we ate it all, we came up into a new level, we came down, we bounced off. So now this is support. Maybe that's true. But what I don't have is I don't have anything on the order books to give me any sort of certainty that there's enough for a bounce, right? I'm not sure there's a floor here. This may not be support. We may have broken through and now we're falling back in. In which case, if we start heading down, look, maybe right here around 500. That's a nice little psychological level. I like that nice round number. If we can make a move with some swiftness, I may look for a quick little scalp around the 503 area, but I want that to happen quickly. Another fun area I tend to find is the teens, 512 to 517 tends to kind of be a little bit of a sticky area. Here we go. Here we go. Coming on down. Now, how's that wall around 27? That's real. That's an actual wall. It's not huge. That may give me enough of a bounce. Yeah, see, that's... This is me wanting to take a trade. This is not my trade. This is me wanting to take a trade. And so I'm not going to. Oh, but look at that. Oh. I don't know what's going on, but we got a lot of swift movement right now, which makes me want to check some news. Let's see here. Let me check. I like Walter Bloomberg's Discord service. Let's see what we have here. Nothing since 11/27. All right. So give it a minute. See if something else pops up. But all right, we're back to no action time. Still just floating around. Oh, man. Getting pretty boring here. I think I'm probably going to give it about 9 more minutes. Now, in the meantime, what I'm doing, no one's watching this, so no one gives a shit. But what I'm doing is in another window, I'm doing some AI training. It's like 25 bucks an hour. It's great. It's a great way to earn a little money while I'm earning a little money, you know? Beer money. I don't really buy beer. Yeah, just indecision. We're just hanging out right here. All right. see. Making a little move. We're still here within this little compression range. However, we're getting to one edge of the compression range. If I go and take a look at Bookmap, we have no significant liquidity kind of anywhere. A little below, a little above, nothing big. If I go back, let's see, do we have any new? Iran's Foreign Ministry said Tehran's response to U.S. views on Iran's 14-point proposal has not yet been conveyed to Pakistan. Okay, it's not any real news. French Finance Ministry motor fuels consumption in France dropped 11% due to demand reduction. Okay, none of that's really significant. Yeah, man. Let's see. Big wall at 600. If we can get up there, I'll give it a short. If we look at where it's starting, so it's not just at 600, that's where the bulk of it is, but probably right here around 98, 99. So what I'll do is if we make a move up there, in the next candle, we won't do it in this candle because there's only about 6 seconds left. $31. This candle started at 73, low of 72, so 31 points would be 604. I would rather my significant level where I'm looking to short be just a little outside of ATR. That's preferable. Such boring action. All right, gonna mute and Boring action. Let's see here. Hang on, let's check this out. Yerkes Dodson. Yerkes Dodson. Let's talk about Yerkes Dodson. Law dictates that performance increases with physiological or mental arousal, stress, but only up to a point, creating an inverted U-shaped curve. Basically, what that's saying is you need a little bit of action to like make you aware and heighten your senses and improve your performance. Um, and if you're too bored, surprise, surprise, you're not going to perform at the highest level. So when you hear people say trading should be boring, I think that's an easy thing to say, and I understand what it means, but it's also maybe a little bit misleading. Trading shouldn't be boring because you need to actually remain like engaged. When you find yourself just totally zoning out, I don't think that's good. Now, I think that may be part of what happens inside of us where we want to like get in a trade is maybe we kind of like subconsciously feel like my performance is going to slip if I fall asleep, you know? um, but that's why we have to find another action to take beyond trading, a different trading action that is not trading. So let's see here. What's a trading action we can do? We can look, oh man, this is really built up. There's a lot of sells right here at 600. I think I think we are going to go up and we are going to tap this, and I'm going to just put my short. I'm just going to put it here. I'll put it in 97.75. Here we go. This is it. We're coming up. And then what I'm probably going to do is I'm probably going to take it, I don't know, 92, 93. We'll see. Here we go. Check and make sure that wall's still there, because sometimes, they take liquidity off. They put it on, they take it off. Who knows? All right, into the 90s. Let's go. Here we go. Get that final little push up. I'm just going to get my buy ready here. So while still there, doesn't look quite as intense as it did though. Because that sell wall is still, ooh, there we go. No, because that sell wall is still there and is not quite as intense, I'm a little less likely to try to hold out for too much downside. I mean, I know I'm just grabbing a few points anyway, but that may run up just a little past. Now we just wait. And the waiting is the hardest part, as my buddy Tom Petty says. So we're going to do a little box breathing. 4 in, hold 4, 4 out, hold 4. It's hard not to just jump in. It feels like we may just kind of hit that bubble and boop. I really hope we don't.
Order filled.
All right, we're in. Let's see. We are eating into that liquidity without too much bounce here. So not loving that. Here we go. I am not, we've eaten that liquidity. It looks like we are not going to get the bounce that we're looking for, so I'm going to take this off pretty quickly here.
Order filled.
It didn't give me what I wanted. I kind of went with like a time-based stop there a little bit. Now look, there we go. There we go. But now we have no sell wall up above us, so it looks like we're headed up toward the 620s. So what do we do here? Yeah, we made 25 bucks. It was a good trade. Um, I waited for my level. I followed my plan. I got out when it wasn't looking like it, when it didn't do what I expected. Even though now it's doing what I had hoped it would do, it didn't do what I expected initially, and so I got out. Good trade. I'm not judging it by my P&L on it. If I'm judging myself and my own patience, waiting for that trade to happen, I'm going to give myself an A plus because that is almost 3 hours of patience, waiting, and watching, and that is not easy to do. And if you're out there and you have a hard time with patience and sitting and watching and waiting, well, come join me, man. Come right in the chat. Tell me what you're doing. Tell me what you do when you get bored. What are the trading actions that you take that are not trading? Look at that. That's beautiful. Right off that level and back down. Now down to 80 and then maybe back up a little. Nope. All right, that's going to be it for me. I'm bored. So I am going to go walk my dog. I may come back later. I may not. In the meantime, I'm going to do this again tomorrow and the next day. Nobody's watching. So who cares?